everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today, first of all, I have to be a little bit more quiet because I am back at home and the walls aren't too thick, and we're streaming at midnight 40. And I'm pretty glad to see that there aren't any viewers because it took me 6 minutes to get this stream started. Actually, not because of internet this time. The internet back at my family home has been massively upgraded, so this is an absolute blessing. It means I can actually work here and stream here and do chess here, which is very nice. But even if I wanted to play Bullet here, I do not have the time. I've got the London Chess Classic starting on Thursday, and there's just been a bunch of meetups and stuff to catch up on back at home. So obviously no time for just mindless online chess. We're gonna get back into some Woodpecker. I'm gonna try and keep it down, which is also going to be a good test of my patience, given that Woodpecker always tests my patience. Let's get into it. And I do see a couple viewers have joined, so feel free to make yourself known in chat if you so wish. And we finished off the intermediate exercise chapter last stream, so we're moving on to the final intermediate exercise chapter, which covers, I guess, more of the recent legends before finally tackling these advanced exercises, which are probably going to be hell, but it is what it is. So let's get into it. Fischer against, I'm not even going to try and pronounce their name. So white to play, let's have a think. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces. Black's got all of their pieces. We haven't castled, but the centre is closed. Black has castled, they've even got a window. Any loose pieces to take note of? There's a loose knight on a5. There's a loose rook on h1, loose rook over here, loose bishop over here. Loose bishop. Yo, Josh, what's up? How's it going? I realise actually I'm pretty sure I have yet to catch up on your message to me about your game, so I will definitely try to get to that at some point. But as I mentioned in the introduction, very, very, very busy. Let's keep thinking. So we identified some loose pieces. Where's the pressure on the board? Where are the threats? Having a quick scan, nothing immediately jumps out. Okay, so do we have any checks? No. Do we have any captures? No. Oh, we do. We have this capture. Doesn't look very good. Oh, the queen is actually kind of trapped. Because I was just about to move on to my threats, and I was looking at bishop g5, and I suddenly thought, wait a sec. Bishop g5, pawn g5. Pawn g5. Is this queen not completely stuck? And probably it's worth this trade, right? To take the queen over two pieces. I mean, the position is quite closed, but probably it can open up and the queen will be strong. So I think bishop g5 has to be played. Yeah. Okay, doesn't even comment, just straight up 1-0. Knight f4 is a nice try. Didn't consider this. But after gf6, knight e2, fe7, white wins because the knight is trapped. That's actually a really, really nice resource, which I did not consider. And this is something I've noticed actually recently. I've gotten very careless with spotting checks from my opponent within a variation, which I did kind of conquer at one point. And now I've kind of regressed. And this is kind of on the same line, that knight f4 is kind of like an in-between move on my queen. So any in-between moves on my queen or checks, I want to be able to see. So I'll be doing that in future exercises. Welcome Ife to the stream as well. No worries, no worries. Yeah, it was an interesting one. Yeah, I'll definitely have a look. I'm keen to look. Doing all right. Been preparing for a talk tomorrow. Exciting times. What's the talk on? Bishop d5 looks nice, yes. And indeed, hardcore 1 a.m. streams. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, you just gotta keep schedule. Like, yes, sleep is important, but being able to calculate is important as well, especially if you've got a tournament coming up. So, we keep going. Fisher against Beach. Got Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop, and 5 pawns against Queen, Rook, Rook, Knight, Bishop, and 6 pawns. Okay, what else is there to note? So our king is kind of safe. I mean, there are a few pieces that are somewhat eyeing it up, but they all seem to be a little bit too far away. Black's king is in the center. This guy is loose. Oh, there's some x-ray going on over here. Loose, loose. Hanging. Connected. Protected. Come on, think. So, okay, we had this x-ray that we were eyeing up, so definitely we can think of something along here. The first move that comes to mind actually is this, but let's just have all of our candidates. So, we got knight checks, we've got a queen capture, and this threat looks really good because if they take us, then we can take them, and I was hoping they can take, and we get a fork, but the problem is we lose our queen, which I didn't notice. So okay, let's actually just calculate one by one. So knight f6, we just take it. This does not do anything. So knight d6. The king has a bunch of different squares. I'd say it looks promising, but it's not easy to calculate. So let's keep it in reserve in case we need to come back to it. This is a capture. Surely terrible. Yep. Okay, so what about threats? Any other knight moves that make sense? My knight is attacked after all. Maybe knight g5 makes sense to hit this pawn. I guess bishop h6 is a threat. Like it threatens the bishop, and I thought maybe we achieve something like this, but probably not. Unless bishop h6, and then somehow we can take the knight. Oh, that looks better and better the more I look at it. Maybe they can castle? Even so, I could give knight check, push g5, it looks very strong. Bishop h6 could just be the answer. If they take, then I take, and we've even got a fork. Bishop h6, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I think we can just play it. It looks completely crushing. Wait, have we looked at all of our opponent's checks? They've got one check here, we can take them. Does nothing. What about an attack on our queen? They can't do that either. What about a simple move like this? They get taken. So bishop h6 has to be right. Okay, I didn't see queen c7. But it's not exactly the most threatening of moves, so it's not like the end of the world that I missed it. But it does defend. If I play knight d6, and they take, then I can take anyway. So maybe knight d6 is useful. But have I really achieved anything? Well, if the king comes to this line, now I can take, potentially. And they can't come to f7 protecting the bishop because of my knight. So that means the king is forced to either of these squares. Knight d6 feels good, but I can't quite justify it. Is there any other way I can try displace this queen? Maybe like knight c5? Again, no counter checks if they take my bishop. I was thinking maybe I can take here, but actually they just move here and I don't see the point. Unless I then go rook e1 or something. Maybe that's actually very strong. With threats of rook takes. You know what, it could be that. It could be that. Because that actually comes with a threat, you know. Knight d6, like, they just move their king. I don't really see what it does. Let's try it. Alternative. Is this the other one? Yes. Classic. Actually, let's see which one is stronger in this position. Ah, boo. I was hoping knight c5 would be top move, but rook b6 is tough move to find. And definitely it's winning, this knight c5. And knight d6. Yeah, king d8. It's not completely clear, yeah, like you gotta play some active move like rook f1. Oh, that's so nice though. Bishop g7, just follow the concrete line. Queen e5 and then knight f7. Beautiful. So what about king f8? Oh my god, queen e5. Yeah, no. That would be so nice if I was at the level where I could actually just calculate these really convincingly and spot these moves. Also, speaking of being able to just spot forcing continuations convincingly, I wanted to show you guys real quick. There was a game. Wait. Can I not have my camera on this? Alright, hold up. Video capture. Let's go. Let's chuck me down here. Let's do that. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Yes. Let me just show you guys something. So I had to do some video editing today. And I want to show you guys something that happened in this game. It was mad. Okay, so without looking at the right hand side, in this position, Eugenia Karas was trying to grind the win against Bodhana. And for the record, Bodhana had a fantastic tournament, like scored 13.5 out of 15, literally dropping 1/2 point and a full point, and winning the rest, which is ridiculous. And to be honest, what I think it's about is like when I look at the girls who are playing, I kind of know. Okay, I haven't studied their games in that great detail, but I actually feel like the young girls are like aggressive and attacking, but lack experience, and then some of the older players are more experienced but less attacking. So somehow Bodhana's style, which is talent, experience, and very, very stable positional sturdy grinds, just does well against these players because like the attacking young players don't have enough experience to like beat off Bodhana's strong defensive play and sturdiness. And the experienced players don't really have that kind of attacking finesse to challenge her. So she just wins every game. It's kind of like the style of chess that I aspire to achieve. Basically really like boring chess. But I mean, it gets the job done. Like, I don't mean that disrespectfully in any regard. But in any case, Bodhana was trying to save this position against the queen and pawn, and the general principle is definitely, I think you're supposed to keep the king in front of the passed pawn, and it should be a draw. But in this exact configuration, it is absolutely nuts that after white's next move, black is winning. And I'll check your messages about the previous puzzle in just a second, but unbelievable that in this position, Bodhana just blitzed out queen a7. But due to the configuration of these pieces, you got queen a3, king b6, queen a7, queen c7 mate. Unbelievable. Not quite king a7, because king a7, I don't think the king is trapped. The king can run to avoid this check, and also king a7, maybe they can push. Peter writes a message saying, very similar to the game Hans lost in the World Blitz Championship. I have not seen that game. That sounds nuts. The only game I've seen where the side with the king and pawn and queen against queen and managed to choke it and somehow lose with the extra pawn was a Twitter post that Daniel Gallagher posted, where he messed up trying to convert this position. Yeah, just a forced mate. Crazy. Okay, if you find it, Peter, feel free to share it, although I don't think you can share links in the YouTube comments for the stream. But no, you can send it to my lead chest and I'll open it up. But yeah, absolutely wild. So yeah, I guess let's investigate this and let's see how other people did. So yeah, bishop h6 was the move I chose. Bishop f4. Oh, I was suggesting knight d6 and bishop f4. Because Josh was saying bishop f4, queen c7, knight c5 with big threats. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, right, we can just take our knight, right? Because there's enough protection over here. This is why I missed as well at first. Right, I might be missing something. OMG, our knight is hanging, I didn't even notice. So that's the aspect you missed. I thought we were just winning back the piece, but I missed about the queen now defense. Yeah. But okay, we got bishop h6, which is quite nice. Okay, cool. Let's do the next one then, unless... Was there anything else to check? The castle... takes... knight f6. Oh, really? Can we not just take the knight immediately? Okay, we can do this as well. Fine. Yeah, good enough for the full point. Yeah, fair. King f7, queen e5, yeah. Yeah, so knight c5 was fine. Knight d6 was very, very cute. Yeah, and Axel Smith actually gives the most convincing line, which is nice. Oh, in fairness, that's because that was what was played. Okay. Yeah, queen e5 is so nice. Okay, yeah, let's move on to the next one. Awesome, it's the lateral defense. Got it. Yeah, it is tough. Calculation is tough. Watch the last minute and a half to see the Hans queen ending I'm talking about. Did you send it to me on Lichess, Peter? Because I don't see the link. Oh, we got a long message from Simmer. Let me quickly answer that, and then I'll pause. I'll pause this just for a second, and then I'll solve this next exercise. Hey Michael, I bought your Gurgenitz course and love it, and I'm wondering what you recommend against the setup of e4, d4, f4, and knight f3. I don't think it's covered in the course since it isn't common. Yeah, to be honest, I can just answer it in words, and that is I would just recommend you play what we've covered against the Austrian attack and just play it against e4, d4, f4, knight f3. So e4, g6, d4, bishop g7. If they go f4, I'll still go c6. And after knight f3, just play d5. And if they push e5, the knight is already on f3. So actually, rather than play h5, we can just straight up play bishop g4 and pin the knight. And probably next, we'll go h5, e6, and on it goes. So, yeah, that would be my simple solution. Yep, Peter, your comment with the link got blocked, so I don't see the message. I think on YouTube messages, you can't send links unless you are mod. So maybe I should make you mod. That would be the simple solution, but I don't know how to do it. At least not while I'm streaming. Yeah, no worries, Emma, and appreciate the support for the course. Yeah, let's keep going with this calculation. So we've got Fischer against Bisguer. What's going on here? So we've got Rook Bishop Knight against Rook Bishop Knight. We've got 1 2 3 5 6 against 1 2 3 5 6. By the way, I answered a pretty nice question that was posed to me on Chessboard today. So let me just share that with you, actually, because I think the comment was really nice and I quite liked my answer. So I'll be quite quick with this one as well. So I got a notification. How do I see this? I think it was this. No, it wasn't this. Yeah, I got a post from Bad Boy Jasper asking about this old school Garganitza. And his third question was, I generally prefer offbeat sidelines, taking opponents out of book. As someone similar to you, would you say you advocate for sidelines over made lines if the goal is to reach candidate master level? There seems to be a dogma around playing main lines for various reasons, and I wanted your general perspective. So what I wrote on this matter is here. So I wrote, in terms of advocating for sidelines / main lines, I've come to learn that the most important thing is to play whichever lines suit you the most. Because no matter what engine eval arises from the opening, you are solely responsible for being able to meet the demands of the resulting position, and I strongly believe some positions are easier to play for some people than others. Unless you're Magnus, in which case, you're so well-rounded, you really have all the openings / types of resulting positions to pick from. But given you're not as universal as Magnus, it makes sense to tailor the opening / resulting positions to your strengths. Now, if that so happens to be a main line, then in all honesty, I'd follow that path because main lines are typically objectively stronger, which allows for a higher ceiling in terms of your playing strength. But for the players that don't gel well with the main lines, for instance myself, having given 1 e5, 1 c5, 1 c6, 1 e6, all a decent effort to master and failed to do so. There is nothing more fulfilling than choosing a sideline that does gel well with you and mastering that, i.e. the Garganitza. I realise that long term it lowers my ceiling as a player, but the ceiling is still high enough for me to feel satisfied with my chess journey, i.e. reaching strong FM, which I believe is possible with Garganitza as a main weapon against 1e4. Only time will tell if I make it that far, but I have a live FIDE of 2091, which is also my peak, so I can't complain with how things are going with my chess. But all in all, it depends mostly on you, but if you think Garganitza may suit your playing style, I'd give it a chance. So, that is my answer to this age-old question about, sidelines versus mainlines debate when it comes to picking the Garganitza as a potential Raptor. Yeah, quite enjoyed answering that one. So, curious to hear any further comments from you guys watching the stream. But yeah, while you guys have a think, let me have a think as well. Okay, so Rook Bishop Knight, 1 3 5 6, 1 3 5 6. King on g2 feels fairly safe because it's on a light square. Black king on g8 feels a little less safe due to the strength of his rook. Especially if we could somehow teleport the bishop here and deliver a mate. Also, potentially the knight coming to f6 could be strong. So okay, the king is definitely a bit weaker. Tension between the pawns. Loose piece. I would love to just play the move bishop f2, bishop d4. It just looks so nice. Then you have all these additional threats like e6. And somehow it feels like we've got the time to play such a maneuver. Anyway, anything else to note? Not really. So what checks do we have? We've got one check, rook h8. Doesn't really help. Do we have any captures? Knight f7? Doesn't do much. Pawn takes g6, pawn takes g6. Not so sure. Again, really want to do this, to be honest. Fixing the pawn structure feels quite weakening. e6, I guess, is possible. But again, feels premature. Why are we not just playing bishop f2, bishop d4? It looks so strong. Maybe bishop f2, maybe they can play bishop b6 or something. Maybe that's annoying. But to be honest, I'd still put it here, and if they take, then, I mean, this pawn is so weak. I'm sorry, this has to win. There's no way this doesn't win. Bishop f2. Bishop f2 just wins on the spot. I'm playing it. I refuse. I refuse to believe bishop f2 is not a winning move. So it's +3 for e6, and I was too impatient to calculate. Did anyone suggest e6 on the chat? Yo, Peter got e6. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, thanks for the link, Peter. I will check that out in just a second. Bishop f2. Okay, bishop f2 is second best move. So there is some reason to it. If bishop c7 is the main reason why it's not, I would still go bishop d4. I don't care if they chop my knight. Yeah, this is still a winning position. I'm not surprised. I mean, it looks completely winning. But the reason is they can play f6. Wow. I mean, this is some pretty high-level resourceful chess to avoid this being completely busted. Bishop f2 feels so strong. Bishop e7, doing the same, I guess, as f6 again. How interesting. So, okay, let me actually just try and calculate e6 now. I know it's not really the same. Given that I've already been given the answer, but let me see if I can get to the same variation that Peter suggested, which I haven't looked at yet, but I presume is strong. Peter, let me ask you, like, when you saw the move e6, did you calculate it because you had intuition that it was strong? Or did you calculate it for the sake of calculating it? Like, where was your head at with the move e6? Because to me it just feels premature, but at the end of the day, if it wins, then... So e6, if they take... I guess in fairness I can just ignore it and just play bishop d4, which I just didn't think I had the time for. But maybe I can. After knight h7, does black have something? But does white have something? Yeah, probably to take. Then knight comes to f6. Again, doesn't feel crystal clear. Oh, but then I got g5. Oh. I guess that's it. e6 and then bishop into e5. If they don't take, what else can they play? I mean, this is somewhat of a threat. Or knight takes. Maybe f6? Maybe f6. Then I go knight f7. Knight h7, pawn takes. Yeah, it still looks very good. So, I mean, upon calculating it, I definitely get how strong it is. I don't know why I had this feeling that it was premature. It's an odd one. So, okay, Peter said e6, fe6, bishop e5, knight h7, pawn g6, knight f6. Yeah, knight f6, and then g5. Yeah, that's also what I calculated. And then, welcome Nico to the stream. How's it going? Welcome Faz as well. How's it going? How about e6, f6? Yeah, my thoughts were still just to... Wait, what did I even say again? Knight f7, was it? And then knight h7 and pawn takes g6. Yeah, knight f7 is the better one. Very nice. Okay, I saw that if the bishop was on e5, it could threaten mate, so I started calculating. Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. Like, I had the same thought straight away, and I didn't connect it to the move e6. And that is a bridge that I probably should connect. For me, e6 was to free up e5. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's weird. It's like, I also had the same thought, but then somehow my intuition was like, I want to... Like, I care more about the structure than trying to rush with e6. But yeah. e6 is also thematic because it kind of blows up everything. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess, like, I wanted to blow up everything once my pieces are perfectly positioned, right? I mean, that is also, like, a principle from, like, Argard's positional play where, like, you kind of improve your pieces... Well, is that actually a point of Argard's play? I mean, I remember Argard saying actually you want to improve your pieces one move before that optimal square. But maybe, I don't know, it's weird. I think I was just so convinced that this is winning that I felt the desire to play it rather than play something that's objectively crushing immediately. But I know I have this problem in my actual games as well. Maybe not so much recently, but... I think sometimes I would avoid playing concretely if I can play a move like this that feels better. But yeah, e6 looks very good. We actually get this line, knight f7. Yeah, and this is over. Okay, nice. Let's do another one. By the way, guys, are any of you playing in the London Chess Classic in any of the events, or is it just me playing in the round robin? Also, welcome Jan to the stream. What is up? We are just solving. I'm actually back home at my family home, and for the first time ever, we have working internet. It is unbelievable. It's so unreal. So we can actually stream. I don't have to cancel the streams. But of course, you know, as with going home, there's always so much to catch up on. I didn't have time to do any training until now. Argard Schmargard. Yeah. Don't check your Lichess messages. Well, I literally have to, Jan, because who is it? Peter sent me a link for me to watch. So I will be checking it in around 5 minutes after I finish this puzzle. So whatever you've sent me, please do something about it. Otherwise it's going on stream. Aye. Okay, let's have a think. Fischer, Benko. We've got Queen, Rook, Rook, Bishop, Knight against Queen, Rook, Rook, Bishop, Knight. We've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 6. Queen and Bishop obviously staring at this h7 pawn. There's no knight on f6 as well, so this looks extremely promising. Our knight is being attacked. X-ray pressure, as mentioned. X-ray. Loose piece. Fine. So what checks do we have? We got one check. What captures do we have? Got one capture, two captures. What threats do we have? We can push e5. Maybe we can play rook f4, but this is very slow. So okay, let's begin with our checks. If we go queen h7, king h7, e5 is the only check, which would be necessary given we've sacked so much. And it's just not enough. So if we look at our captures, does this do anything? I really don't think so. Take with the queen, hitting our queen as well. Okay, and queen takes this is terrible, so okay, e5. How do they defend against mate? Guess they can push h6. We can also play f5, which hits our queen at the same time. That's kind of annoying. Also on f5, if we try and take the queen and then take the knight, they can always take back with the knight. Not to mention our knight is also still hanging, so... Oh, unless it's a move like rook f6 then, because if f5 is such a key defensive resource, maybe provoking this and then pushing? Because rook f6 is a threat on the knight, which could be a bit annoying. But more importantly, like if they take our knight, then we can just push. If they play a move like h6 in that position, I guess then I can sack and then give mate. Yeah, so actually rook f6 is really useful for both this resource and blocking here. Like it has to be rook f6. Rook f6, they take, I push. Is there any other potential defenses? Are there any checks on my king? See, I'm getting better at this. Are there any checks on my king? There are no checks. Are there any attacks to my queen or something as an in-between move? Again, I don't think so. So rook f6, I just think has to be the correct answer. King g8. I mean, still, this looks like the right idea. Now if h6, can we still sack? Takes. Looks good, right? So okay, I think e5 has to be winning. Nice. Okay, h6. Does the rook sack work, or am I just blundering my advantage? Okay, no, rook h6 is winning. Good to see. Nice. Okay, pretty simple that one, I think. Okay, let me check. Peter says, I have no holiday left from work. I'm playing in the weekend rapid. Okay, very nice. I mean, the weekend rapid, is that like the... Oh no, super blitz is blitz, right? So I guess it's just like a chill weekend rapid. Nico says, playing one of the evening blitz. Might sign up for a second one. Awesome. I guess I can't play any of the weekend blitz events. Like, what time does it start? Because the classical starts at 6 p.m. each day. So unless the weekday blitz starts at like 9 p.m. or something, and I happen to, have an early game. But yeah, let me know what time it starts, Nico. Oh, super rapid. So it is a thing. I wasn't sure if it was called super blitz or super rapid, but if it's super rapid, then I guess I think because whichever one is the super one, I think they have like a higher price fund, so it attracts stronger players. Busy for the rest of the year? Oh, for some reason I'm thinking it's 2026. But no, okay, it's still 2025. So, okay, that's not as crazy. I mean, Jan, you can always send me a message on Lichess so that the last message that gets shown on the screen isn't whatever crazy nonsense you're freaking out about. So yeah. No over the border games until 4 NCL, fair play. It might be rook f6. Very nice, Peter. God. It's 1 a.m. and those jokes are still Still, yeah, still not funny. Yeah, so I wonder actually how many defenses are there to the immediate e5. Oh, so actually h6 doesn't work. And I think this is the line that Josh was giving. E takes d6, d takes c3, queen f5, yeah. Very nice. Yeah, so, and queen f5 doesn't work immediately due to the knight, for anyone wondering. So, but indeed, f5 is a strong defensive idea. Yeah, rook f6. Finished a continuation, did I not? I thought I saw everything. Yeah, no, I think I saw everything here. I used to live 2 minutes away from the Emirates, but now I live an hour and away. Oh, it's so unfortunate. I mean, I kind of feel the same way about how the fact that, you know, London Chess Classic is free for Brits under 25, and I wanted to play it like every single year that there was the pandemic, and then, of course, by the time I go above 25, then the London Chess Classic is back. It's like so annoying. On rook f6, could knight f5 be a defense? Knight f5, my instinct is I can just push e5 anyway. That's my gut feeling. Okay, we can indeed push e5 anyway. But although it's not actually clear, queen takes is kind of a bit messy because they get another check in. So that's actually not clear at all. Simplest is just queen f5. And then e5, okay. So then they have to play something different here, but yeah, if queen e6 is top move, then you're really suffering. So just queen takes. Nico says, yeah, Blitz and Classical at the same time. You need to have a very quick game. God. I mean, maybe I can ask my opponent, right? I can be like, yo, you want to just take it chill and play the Blitz? Like, we'll just blitz out like 5 moves and then offer a draw and like rush over. But I mean, we'd need to enter and everything, so I don't think they'll be very happy about that. Yeah, I don't think I could make the argument that I had entered the blitz on the off chance that I had a draw and then we draw in 5 moves. Yeah, no. I think I need to say goodbye to the dream. We are a serious chess player right now, which is pretty crazy. Okay, let's actually check this message from not Jan. Oh, I did. Oh, there we go. Would you look at that, Jan? I don't even get your message because I haven't refreshed the page. Oh, here we go. Should I click on it? How much would you pay me, Jan, not to click on it? I'm kidding. Okay, let's have a look at this Hans Queen ending. Oh, and let me change the overlay. So for the record, the reason why we're looking at this is because apparently Hans blundered in a queen endgame in a similar fashion to the way Bodhana blundered in a queen endgame, which we looked at earlier in the stream. So let's have a quick look. And I think Peter said if you look at the last minute 30, yeah, it looks like there's some peak action here. Oh, look how happy Neiman is. Neiman is so happy that he's found this motif. Let me see if I can pause it before it comes. Like, am I going to be able to spot the blunder? Oh, okay, I didn't spot it. I did spot it. This is a different blunder. That's a crazy one as well. Because if king to the side of a board, queen g6 is mate, and if king f5, then queen g6 is also mate, and this is like the swallowtail mate, right? Where the king has like 2 tails and then gets trapped. That is unbelievable. Look at that reaction. Oh, it's actually the World Blitz. To be fair, Neiman takes it hella graciously. Hella graciously. I mean, he'll probably smash something in his room afterwards, but that's crazy, actually. That's crazy. Because that's actually a very different checkmate to the one Bodhana blundered. Just shows how many ways you can mess up a queen pawn endgame that you're trying to push, and you forget that tactics are completely prevalent to the position. Jesus Christ. No, I mean, these are the kind of games that, like, I would not be able to smile like Neiman could. But I think that's the point, right? Like, probably Neiman has played so much chess to the point that he's blundered in so many ways that he can actually laugh in that situation. Whereas for me, if I was playing like a 2600 GM and I do that, I genuinely, like, compress and self-destruct. Which is actually why, like, I even had that short phase of quitting chess because I just couldn't handle losing, like, a winning position. And that's the feeling that made me quit. But yeah, no, it's just a part of the game. I mean, just look at Esipenko's blunder in, like, probably the most important moment of his entire career, and he blunders a rook for free. That's absolutely insane. If you haven't seen that, his game against Wei Yi, the second rapid tiebreak game, just blunders a straight rook. Like, Wei Yi doesn't even do a tactic. He literally just moves his knight and attacks it. And Esipenko just forgets. Like, that's the crazy thing. It wasn't even missing, I think, because from the way that he was, like, hovering his hand, it looked like he was going to move his rook. And then he played a different move, I guess forgetting that his rook was attacked. It looked like it was just some kind of, like, mental breakdown. Breakdown sounds more dramatic. I mean, more like mental block. The best remedy to losing winning position is just to keep on playing and moving on from it quickly. Yeah, I think so. And that's why I think it's also nice to play tournaments when you have multiple tournaments coming up, because if you only have, let's say, one tournament and it goes badly, then you just have nothing to kind of, like, redeem yourself about. So I always like kind of playing in the summer when I can, like, schedule several tournaments in a row. Yeah, it took it quite well. I completely agree. Okay, it was already doing quite badly in the tournament, right? So nothing too much to lose. And yeah, World Cup is such an exhausting event, yeah. But I have to say, it's been super exciting. I've really enjoyed the format, actually. It's, like, so much more exciting than a Swiss. But having said that, probably a Swiss is more fair in terms of, like, deciding who is the strongest player. Like, as long as it's enough rounds, right? If it's only a very few rounds, then it's very hit or miss. Yeah. How are we doing for time? Okay, let's finish with one final one, and then I call it a day because I'm getting very tired. But it's good that we're putting in this shift. Okay, so we've got Queen Rook Bishop against Queen Rook Bishop. We've got 1 2 3 against 1 3 4 5 6. Also, guys, because it's 1:30 a.m., let me ask this random, unnecessary, deep question, which is, how do you guys view online chess ratings versus over-the-board ratings, national ratings versus FIDE ratings? Like, any comments or preferences or thoughts on, the kind of weight that you hold to these ratings? I'm just curious, just for more market research, basically, in terms of, like, my own self-esteem. what matters to you? So I think it really depends on who you're talking to, right? Like, a lot of people won't know the difference, say, even between, let's say, chess.com ratings and FIDE ratings. Like, complete beginners who are, like, new to chess from watching the Queen's Gambit kind of deal, right? So there's obviously, a mix of opinion depending on who you're talking to. And I think my opinion of these ratings have also changed as I've gone through the chess years. But yeah, we'll be curious to hear where your guys' thoughts are at. And I can try and give my comprehensive analysis of how I view ratings and which ratings matter more than others after this exercise. So, okay. Our king is fairly exposed, but also there's only one queen attacking it, so it feels kind of safe. This king feels a lot worse because our pieces are closer, but somehow they're doing a fairly good job of protecting everything. Lots of pressure on the bishop. Might want to add even more pressure, given we've got some x-ray control over this square. X-rays back and forth. Maybe x-rays this way and that way. Potential checks. Black's definitely got the winning endgame if everything trades with all of this. So, okay, white to play. What checks do we have? We've got check here, check here. We also got check here. What captures do we have? Got these captures, captures, captures. Bishop here is a threat. Bishop here is a threat. Maybe this is even nicer for some reason, which I have no idea why. I think it just looks more fancy, right? We can do this and this. So, okay, actually, why doesn't a move like this win? I guess in this position, black can potentially defend with queen b4. Whereas if we play bishop c5, then there's no queen b4. And how on earth do they defend? Is this not just completely winning? I guess they can give one check. Oh, and we're even protecting f2. Would you look at that? So we can even play g3. How beautiful. Yeah, that's got to be the answer. It's just got to be the answer. Because bishop takes is such a big threat, because we're even covering the escape. So if they have to take, then it's just over. Bishop c5 wins. Let's go. But not rook e7. You see, I didn't even consider this move. I feel like I looked at all of the captures and I didn't even consider rook takes bishop. Did I consider this in my candidates? I don't even remember. But now... Oh my god. God. Thank God I didn't blunder this. But that's definitely something I could blunder. Although I feel like nowadays I'm less likely to blunder. Because I would look at this and just pick up on the fact that the queen hangs. That is still scary. That there's potential to lose that. Luckily we just got bishop c5. Yeah. Josh, your answer looks perfect, so good job. Okay, so Peter says, I'm a bit frustrated that I haven't been able to improve my best Lichess ratings for quite a while now. Peter, I would love to hear what your peak Lichess ratings are. Actually, I reached a peak Lichess rating a few days ago, actually. I reached 2678 in Bullet, which I was very happy with. But I also lost that peak rating in the same day I gained it, and also quit Bullet Chess on that same day, having gained like 100 rating then lost 100 rating in an impulsive moment of zero self-restraint. But still, at the end of the day, a nice new peak. Fast doesn't get punished much often online as it does in over the board. I don't know what that's in reference to. Peter says, I'm still close to my peak FIDE, so I guess that's more important. Right. Yeah, and I like how you say, I guess that's more important, like as opposed to it being more important, right? Like it's still like a matter of subjective opinion. Faz says, what online ratings are you up to? Yeah, so that's what I'm curious about too. I think I'm about 100 and 150 points off my peak. Yeah. For me, my blitz rating is way off my peak because I've been playing these chess mood Grand Prix, and obviously the chess mood Grand Prix just tanks your rating. So I have no motivation to even play a single rated game on Ponziani Master until I'm ready. Well, until I'm not playing, these chess mood Grand Prix. Yeah, okay, very nice comment as well. Josh, you found the Queen Before resource. Nico says, such huge variance between all my different ratings, feeling national online, kind of giving up on making sense of them. That's fair. That is fair. We actually don't need to make sense of them, right? We can just play chess and enjoy playing chess. Like literally, what is the need? I guess maybe one aspect of the need is like forming identity, right? You want to know, like let's say if you're 2500 FIDE and you have a GM title, that is an aspect of identity that you can hold that then gives you a sense of placement within this chess community, right? So I guess it's like a useful indicator of helping to form an identity. God, Nico, if you were to ask me what your chess identity would be in terms of like as a chess player, I would struggle as well, because I think that huge variance between the ratings does actually make it hard for me to gauge, to be honest. Nico says, it does suck how much FIDE ELO is impacted by my very old performance. Right. That's interesting that there is maybe some background underlying feeling of frustration by that. So I think I've always felt quite grateful that my starting ratings... Okay, to be fair, on the ECF, my starting rating was like 1200 or something, or like 1000. So, okay, that started bad. But I was a junior, so I could quickly, K40 my way out of that, right? But yeah, no, I've got a friend called Nick Hodge, who I haven't caught up with in a long time, but he is the epitome of having a old FIDE rating that was like 1200 and then getting to ECF of like 2000, 2100 and then still having a 1200 FIDE rating. Like, how unbelievable is that? And then playing an international tournament in an under 2000 category and just storming it with a 1200 ELO. Like, shocking. But I didn't really know how you do to fix that. Okay, we got the T from Peter. Highest ever Lichess ratings include Bullet 2741, Blitz 2543, and Rapid 2606. Very interesting. First of all, 2600 Rapid is awesome because I've been 2500 Rapid for some time, even up to 2550, I think, but never, always struggled to like be consistent. So 26 is pretty cool. I supposedly have a higher Blitz peak than Peter, but it's kind of a bit of a it's a bit fake in the sense that really 2500, like 2502 was my Blitz peak, and then after not playing for a long time, I kind of played a couple games and gained 50 points because ridiculous K factor, and got like 2550 something as my peak. But in reality, it's my peak Blitz when really trying my hardest was 2500. And then Bullet, yeah, I shared that earlier. So, still got a way to go to reach these numbers. Blitz 1 is from 2022. Interesting. I'm playing many more openings than I used to. I think that probably helps in classical where I can prepare, but hurts in online Blitz. Right. So it kind of maybe breaks the flow of like, your intuition and stuff because you've got so many different positions you're dealing with. Faz says, wow, also quite similar, Peter, but I've not gone as high in Rapid yet. Didn't get past 2550. Okay, so same comment as me. Faz says, I was saying, Michael, that often online people... Oh, okay. That often online people play a lot more loosely and we do not get punished as often online. I see. That is something I've reflected on a decent amount as well, that like with online ratings, you do have a mix of work ethics, right? Some people are taking it seriously, some people are literally playing while multitasking. So yeah, to really use online as like a kind of metric for your position, that also makes less sense to me. Whereas like something like FIDE, you know for sure that everyone playing that FIDE Classical, the vast majority of them are taking it pretty seriously. So that then works as a better metric. There's also flagging that distorts ratings. I mean, back in the day, over the board also had flagging, but nowadays, you're right, it always has increments, so that also lends itself to requiring higher quality of chess ability. But yeah, very, very interesting to hear. I think I'll quickly share some of my thoughts about it, which I don't even know where I stand on it. I haven't really thought about it properly. But I definitely get the feeling that probably chess.com ratings are harder than online than Lichess ratings. I remember there was a study that suggested that at a higher level the ratings are much more similar. But I haven't yet to experience that. I definitely always feel like, not that I'm playing on chess.com anymore, but I definitely felt there was a gap even at like the 2400, 2500 level. Definitely felt there was a gap. So, but having said that, I mean, I've got a friend who's literally just recently hit 2900 in Blitz on chess.com, and I don't think he's ever hit, like, I think he's like been 2700 Blitz on Lichess, but never 2900. So maybe there is a difference at some point, or maybe he's just, you know, super on form and just playing on chess.com recently. This is Adrian Yulo, by the way, who has a FIDE rating lower than mine because he's from the Philippines and currently working in Dubai, where there are like hordes of underrated Indian players. So, no, he's by far the stronger player than me. But it's just a matter of time for him to have his ratings catch up. So that's step one. I think chess.com is harder. I would say that, like, maybe rather than comparing it to other people, I guess, like, the rating which you care about the most and you try hardest in should probably be the one that is the closest metric to your true strength, if that makes sense. But I don't know if that's even true. I don't even know how productive this conversation is. I am way too tired. I'm way too tired to put any meaningful thought into this. But yeah, it's really weird. Like somehow for me, being above 2000 in ECF and FIDE, it really makes a difference to my chess identity. I think, like, it depends who I'm talking to as well. I think, like, you know, if let's say I'm talking to like some noob at chess, then I'll just tell them I'm 2500 online and it doesn't matter, right? But when I'm talking to someone a bit stronger, I think, like, even if let's say I'm talking to someone who's like, you know, 2400, 2500, the fact that I can just say that I'm 2000 FIDE or something, it's just a very nice thing to be able to say. Because I guess it comes with identity, right? Like, it immediately says that, you know, you've reached this level. But it is somehow superficial as well. Because then you've got players like Nico who, like, you know, has a much lower FIDE rating, but I don't think is much weaker than me as a player, if at all. I mean, I think I back myself just because of how much I grind chess. Like, I feel like I'm a bit more consistent, especially right now. Like, back in the day, I was definitely not any more consistent than Nico. But yeah, it feels almost too superficial to just label someone based on the rating when the rating doesn't always tell the full picture, right? But then what are you supposed to introduce yourself as? Like, it's hard, right? Maybe you can just be vague and say a strong club player, and not specify. It's really really tough to say. But I mean, it's crazy, right? Like one funny story I can share is like some of you probably know like the tournament organizer Adam Raouf in London, and I've got a friend from school who always knew how to play, but he got a lot more into it during the pandemic, and he's actually started playing some tournaments in London, like just some like under 1800 tournaments, and just getting his ass whooped, but like just experiencing the humbling experience of sucking at something, because he's quite a talented guy. But he was playing a tournament that Adam Raouf organized, and apparently Adam Raouf was talking some chess with him afterwards, and my friend like soaked all of Adam Raouf's advice up. And to be fair, I don't remember what the advice was, but it seemed fairly good. And my friend was like, "Oh yeah, Adam Raouf seems like such a nice guy and so cool." And I mentioned to him like, "Oh yeah, but that comment really makes me like that to me sounds about right for a 1500 player." And my friend was like, "What? He's not a grandmaster? I assumed that Adam Raouf was like, like some top grandmaster player who's just retired and just organizing chess now." And I was just like, there's no way. So I guess it's like with someone like Adam Raouf, I mean, he like maybe to the untrained eye, like he might just seem like a very like mystical wise kind of tournament organizer overseeing the game of chess, and yeah, somehow bypasses the question of ratings that way. I don't know. So somehow ratings do feel important, but then it's just like, yeah, it's just too inconsistent to be used like for all cases, I guess. Who knows? Yeah, classical games are just an entire different game altogether compared to online. It is, just because of the time difference. Like, it is a different game. Nick says, more interesting is to look at the distribution of ratings and where you stand within it. Nico says, I'd put my money on you in a classical match. Right. Having said that, I feel like our head-to-head score in actual rated games, I think you've completely destroyed me. I feel like every single clutch blitz game that we've ever played at Hammersmith, I lose every single one. I don't know why. I think it's just because, at least my style back then, like I would just like overthink it. I would overthink it, and you would just play a normal game, and I would just beat myself by playing some garbage. I don't even remember exactly what the problem was, but I do remember working out exactly why I would lose every time. But yeah, guess I don't have to worry about that as much now. Before playing OTB recently, I didn't appreciate how much of a different game. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess it's not just the time, but also like all the human factors, right, of playing an actual person. Yeah, so much extra stuff going on. Oh, pretty sure Adam is like 2100 FIDE, but he's not 1500. Are you kidding? Have I got this wrong my whole time? My whole life? That's so bad. Okay, I need to... Adam Raouf is 2100. Who the fuck told me he's 1500 then? Or did I just make some shit up and just rolled with it this whole time? Oh my god, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna clarify to my friend that Adam Raouf is not 1500. That is so funny. Maybe I got confused with a different organizer then. I don't know. That is so odd. Well, there you have it. Thank you for that clarification, Peter. Jesus. Okay, that also makes sense then why actually the advice was pretty sound that I was listening to. And then somehow managed to claim that. Okay, let me change the overlay so you can actually see that in the flesh. Mr. Rave 2100. 2100 active player as well. Oh, okay. He lost some rating this month, but playing Tatter Steel. What a lad. Crazy. Okay, I should head to bed soon, but let me check these final comments. The way I look at it, if you have a low FIDE relative to a high online rating, then your playstyle is quite undisciplined. Interesting. Normally my go-to is just like, you just haven't played enough FIDE. That's normally how I view it. Or let's say you play in a country where your opponents are very underrated. Also, players who are good at endgames will have higher FIDE ratings. Players who have sound openings too, dodgy blitz stuff, which are only good for online rapid. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, lots of different factors. You make a good point. Okay, I think it's quite an old inflated rating, but he's probably around 1900, 2000. Fair. Yeah, no, definitely higher than 1500 though. No, I had the completely wrong opinion of Adam. Thankfully, I've never, suggested anything about his level to his face when talking to him. So that's at least one saving grace. But yeah, interesting to talk ratings. Good to train some chess. And tomorrow I am meeting a good friend of mine who we used to train a lot when we were both living in Loughborough, but he's actually from down south as well. So we live close enough to actually meet up. So we're going to train some chess tomorrow and the day after. And he's also playing in London Chess Classics, so it's perfect. We'll just train lots of chess and be fully ready for the tournament. So, exciting times ahead. See some of you in London, I hope. And thanks for tuning in, as always. So, have a good night. Okay, bye guys.